Good evening. This is Liz Whitaker. Oop, there we go. That's fine. This is Liz Whitaker of Divination Station and Rising Goddess. Thank you very much for joining. This is the first Witchy Wednesday of 2021, and what a Wednesday so far. Happy to be here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll make sure this is popping up here. So today I am going to be going over a couple, an herb and a crystal. Okay, just let me share this out real quick. I just got to find it. And definitely, if you're watching, pop in, say hi, let me know you're here, and go ahead and feel free to share the broadcast on your feed, in a group, anywhere you'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and share it out, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. There we go. So what I'm going to be doing, much like I did start last year, 2020, I'm going to go over an herb and a crystal. So these are going to be from, here we go, the Practical Witches Almanac. I know Rising Goddess is sold out. I do have a message out to the publisher to see if we can get more in stock. It looks like as of right now they are sold out, but I will be watching for a second run, and be sure to grab some for purchase. So again, it's a Practical Witches Almanac. It is by Frida. It's Friday Gladheart. Okay, so and every month there's a study guide. Okay, so we're going to be walking through that. So today, I picked Wormwood and Unakite. Wormwood, I have some right here. Okay, it just looks like any other woody, leafy herb. Smells leafy herbal. Doesn't really have too crazy a scent. So say a little bit about Wormwood. And like I said, as you're joining, hi, and go ahead, pop in, share the broadcast, say hi. I should be able to see it here. I believe it is live in the event and on the page. So Wormwood is Artemisia absinthium. So both of those words may sound a little bit familiar to you. The Greek roots are Artemisia, and that could be for Artemis, the goddess Artemis, or a queen, Artemisia. And it's, of course, it could be either one. We don't really know, but either one's fine. And absinthium. So yes, it is that absinthe, or it is that wormwood that was included in the original recipe for absinthe. It is toxic in high amounts. It is not hallucinogenic. Those kind of reported qualities of absinthe also came from the fact that it's super high in alcohol content. So the green fairy, hallucinating, all of that could really just be the fact that everybody was just getting rip-roaring drunk, and it was favored by poets and romantics. So the claims of hallucinogate. Okay, I can't say that word today. That's fine. Hallucination. There we go. Could very well be romanticized throughout the ages. So wormwood. It is in the classification of mugworts. So mugworts is a classification. Of course, we have mugwort that all witches tend to be familiar with. It is bitter in taste. So if you've ever heard the phrase as bitter as wormwood, that is where it came from. Its qualities: it is masculine, it is ruled by Mars, it represents the element of fire. So if you know when you're working with it, it has those qualities. What witches use it for: love, protection, psychic powers, and spirit communication. So as you're working with um, wormwood, no, it can have any of these properties as you bring them in, and it's like anything, it's about your intention and what else it's surrounded with. So it can be used in spells for divination, love spells. It's really good for spirit work or hedge riding. Hedge riding is a liminal space. Some witches can journey. Okay, hedge riding is known as that place and that time where a witch will kind of go into a state and communicate with the those that have passed, the dead, the deceased. Protection. It's really good for protection, for exorcism, anything like that. Um, One interesting thing that I saw about wormwood that's really good, makes it good for that, is it will send harmful magic back to the sender. Okay, so hex breaking, curse breaking, anything like that. Um, Consider using wormwood in your spell, in your mojo bag, in your herb concoction, in your salt bowl. Medical, and again, this is not meant for medical advice. I am not a doctor. I'm only reporting the research that I've done. It has been used for digestive issues and parasites, internal parasites. That's where it got the name wormwood. Its possible action against parasitic intestinal worms and repels pests. You'll often see it used for that in to repel inside pests, outside pests, so it can be used for that as well. Okay, so that is wormwood. And as you look through spells, you're going to see witches love wormwood. And because it has all of these great connotations, right? So Unakite. And I just found a little bit here. I know Tina has some gorgeous, like chunky Unakites. I have it as part of my self-love bag and some of my self-love teacups. And you're going to see why I choose Unakite for those in a moment. So I'm going to show it here with my little camera here. So you can see this is one of my little pyramids. It is green and pink, flecked throughout. So it's this wonderful kind of olive green, forest green, and this kind of salmon pink. Okay, again, this is a teeny tiny piece, but you get the idea. And again, at Rising Goddess, there's some gorgeous pieces of Unakite. So if you do find this calling to you, there we go, check the shop. Okay, so with the stones and the crystals, I'm going to give a little bit of geology nerdery to start. Okay, so you can kind of understand the difference in the rocks, like what makes them different, what makes them unique, what can sort of bring about their qualities. Unakite is a metamorphic rock, as in it changed from one form to another. It forms when granite, okay, which is an igneous rock, lots of granite around here, is altered by hydrothermal activity. Hydrothermal, hot water, forced hot water. The placioclase in the granite is replaced by epidote. Okay, that's the green bits. and by pink, orthoclase, and quartz. So this initially started off as granite. So that gray, black, tan, brown granite went through massive changes, and it comes out the other side this beautiful green and pink crystal. It brings the abundant nature of green, the abundant, nurturing nature of green, and the caring, loving nature of pink. So if you're familiar with energy centers or familiar with chakras, it can be used as a heart for the heart because it kind of blends both of those colors. It's good for bringing people back together. If you have been into a fight, an argument, if your relationship or living situation is high stress, Unakite can really help soothe that. It encourages harmonious and healthy relationships. So think of how a high stress moment brought together these two minerals, okay? Encourages harmonious and healthy relationships. It heals the heart center after long periods of illness or trauma. So it's going to be really great for any healing work, okay? It quiets your inner critic, your inner cynic, and allows you to believe in yourself again. And that's the main reason that I include it in any of the self-love bags, self-love work that I do. Because it's going to help kind of quiet that inner critic, right? That's like a first step to help you not be so critical of yourself and open the space for you to love yourself again. So that is why you're going to see it in some, I don't include it in all of them, but it is in some of them. And again, I kind of intuitively, like I have a bunch of crystals that I'll use for an intention, and I kind of pull intuitively as I work through that specific spell bag. Okay, so that wraps up Wormwood and Unakite. And today is Wednesday. Again, these are always on Wednesday. Just want to touch base. Wednesdays are the day of Mercury. Communication. And today is the third quarter. So after the full moon, we're now in the last quarter. Okay, so it's about half, right? So adjust and release. Okay, so really look at where you are at, when that full moon happened, and where are you at since then? How have your reflect on your past week or so? What do you have to release to continue that release work with? Okay, remember full moons are for releasing. How are you doing with that? Okay, so maybe do a check-in with that and see how it's going. Maybe do a little bit more work on that. Or maybe it wasn't time to release it, and make that okay too. Okay, thank you so much for joining Witchy Wednesday today, January 6th. And I will see you next week, and we'll have another herb and another crystal to go over. Again, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for sharing, and I will see you soon.